Hi, welcome to this video. This is a simple way of multiplying two two-digit numbers or two three-digit numbers together using geometric intuition. Recall, multiplication of two numbers can be thought of as calculating the area of a rectangle whose length and breadth are those two numbers. So for instance, the rectangle here, the longer dimension is the length, the shorter dimension the breadth. If we multiply the length and breadth together, that gives us the area of the rectangle. Here's an example. This rectangle has width 20 and length 56. Let's split the length into two pieces. Well, that would be 50 and 6. Now, the area of that is simply the area of the left-hand rectangle and the right. The left hand is 1000, which is the product of 20 and 50, and the right hand is 120, which is the product of 20 and 6. So tallying them up, we get 1120. Looking back at that, we can see the area is 20 times 50 plus 6, which is equal to, as we distribute the 20 across the two numbers in the brackets, 20 times 50 plus 20 times 6. More generally, if we have the form a times bracket b plus c, that distributes as a times b plus a times c, which is known in maths as the distributive law. Here's a more complicated example. Width 24, length 56. Let's split the width and the length this time. So the width splits into 20 and 4, and the length into 50 and 6. So the area of this rectangle is the area of these four rectangles. The bottom left is 1000, which is the product of 50 and 20. The bottom right is 120, which is the product of 6 and 20. The top left is 200, which is the product of 50 and 4. And the top right is 24, which is a product of 6 and 4. Tallying those up, we get 1344. So the product of 24 and 56 is simply the sum of those four numbers, 1344, which is the area of that rectangle with width 24 and length 56. Looking at this example the way we did the previous one, we have the form 20 plus 4 times 50 plus 6, which expands to 20 multiplied by the second bracket plus 4 multiplied by the second bracket, which gives us 20 times 50 plus 20 times 6 plus 4 times 50 plus 4 times 6. More generally, we have a plus b in brackets times c plus d in brackets, which expands to a times c plus a times d plus b times c plus b times d. This could be thought of as an expansion of binomial product. So we have a bracket with two terms multiplying another bracket with two terms in it. If we think of a quadratic, this is how a factorized quadratic is expanded. Recall, when expanding a factorized quadratic, we use the acronym F.O.I.L, first, outer, inner, last. X plus 7x minus 4, well, first is x squared. Outer is minus 4x. Inner plus 7x. Last minus 28. So expanding x plus 7x minus 4, which we could think of as the dimensions of that rectangle, gives us an area of x squared plus 3x, combining the two like terms, minus 28. Here's another example. 234 times 487. Let's start with our rectangle. And this time we'll split the width 3 ways and the length 3 ways. So we'll split the width into 200 and 30 and 4, and the length into 400 and 80 and 7. So now we have a rectangle which is subdivided into 9 smaller rectangles. So the product of those two numbers is simply the sum of the areas of the 9 rectangles. So starting at the bottom left, we have 80,000, which is simply the product of 400 and 200. Then the bottom middle, 16,000, which is the product of 80 and 200. The bottom right, 1,400, which is the product of 7 and 200. In the middle, on the left-hand side, we have 12,000, which is the product of 430. Then in the middle, we have 2,400, which is the product of 80 and 30. And then in the middle right, we have 210, which is the product of 7 and 30. Now at the top left, we have 1600, which is the product of 404. In the middle, 320, which is the product of 80 and 4. And at the top right-hand side, we have 28, the product of 7 and 4. Tallying all of those up, we get a grand total of 113,958. So the product of 234 and 487 is simply the area of those subrectangles making up the greater rectangle. So the key point is the product of two numbers is the area of the rectangle whose length and breadth are those numbers. Here's a rectangle with length x plus b, width x plus a. If we multiply x plus a by x plus b, what we're really doing by subdividing the rectangle is multiplying out the length and width of those four subrectangles. So starting with the bottom left, we have x times x, which gives us x squared. Bottom right, we have b times x, which gives us bx. At the top left, we have x times a, which gives us ax. And at the top right, we have a times b, which gives us ab, which shows us geometrically what we know algebraically. The area of that rectangle is simply x squared plus ax plus bx plus ab. This method may be useful as opposed to simply multiplying out for those who are more geometrically inclined, but it's a useful secondary way to multiply. Here's a little division hack. What's 129 divided by 3? Well, 129 can be split using a bar here into 99 and 30. Straight away we know 99 divided by 3 is 33, and we know that 30 divided by 3 is 10. If we reconstitute those two, 33 and 10, we get 43. So 129 divided by 3 is just 99 plus 30 divided by 3, which is 33 plus 10. 43. Division hack. Here's another example. 4012 divided by 17. Note 17 times 2 is 34, so 17 times 200 is 3400. So let's split it up into 3400. Note 17 times 3 is 51, so 17 times 30 is 510. Let that be the second part. So the remainder is simply the difference. So if we sum those up, we get 3910. The difference between that and 4012 is 102. 3400 divided by 17 we know is 200. 510 divided by 17 we know is 30. And 102 divided by 17 is 6. Reconstituting those together, we get 236. Division hack, final exercise. 1602 divided by 89. 89 times 10 is 890. 89 times 20 is double that, 1780. Let's call that whole thing 1780, but we have overshot. How much have we overshot by? Well, 1780 minus 1602 is 178. 1780 divided by 89 is 20. And 178 divided by 89 is 2. So negative 178 divided by 89 is negative 2. Combining 20 and negative 2, we get 18. So 1602 divided by 89 is 18. Here's one more example, final one. This one is a popular meme, apparently. 550 divided by 2. So we've got a Walter White meme, we've got an anime meme, we've got three little Play-Doh men, and then we've got a Minions meme. All because people are having trouble with simple arithmetic. So 550 divided by 2. Well, let's break it down to two parts. 550. 500 divided by 2 is 250. 50 divided by 2, 25. Combining 250 and 25, we get 275, not 225. Okay, so the steps for this are simple. Number 1, break the dividend up into manageable parts. For example, 474 divided by 6 can be broken up into 420 plus 54, all divided by 6. Step 2, divide each of these parts by the divisor. 420 divided by 6 is 70, because 42 divided by 6 is 7. And 54 divided by 6 is 9. Step 3, sum the quotients. So 70 plus 9 gives us 79. It's quite a useful little trick for being able to break numbers up and do them mentally or quickly by hand. Thanks very much for watching. I hope this was useful and that it can be applied somewhere. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you did find it useful.